Hi guys, Troublemaker here playing City Skylines, and as you see I've completed a rural section of my city. It's very rural themed. Things just kind of go all over the place and no particular idea of where things go. There's a lot of traffic problems, lots and lots and lots of traffic problems in this city, which is a kind of a big deal. And but most of the space is used. Little plot here is not used, but it's just this small plot of land, this little itty bit on this side, and the river. Worth noting, this side here, I could plant down a, turbine, but turbines don't generate that much power, so that's kind of problematic. Also, another problem in the power is right here, 167 megawatts of power, consumption quite high. So I'm going to need to build more power generating facilities. That's what I'll be doing. These incineration plants will get rid of garbage, and they'll also wisely generate power. So I can put down 2 for now, but note my capacity is not at my production level, so I'll need at least another 2 to cover that. See what else I can do. I can empty this landfill, and that will go towards the incinerator, and this one as well can be emptied towards the incinerator just right away. And what else do I need? I think that's about it. And I'll have to watch my power as expand, because it's going to be a very, very volatile moment. Kind of problematic. I have a 14-week supply left here. 14 weeks is not a long time in this game. And unfortunately there's all these problems with transit. But before I go any further, one thing I will show off is districts. So we have various parts of the city, and in on any Google map, when you go to a city, it'll show you the various districts. So let's see, what can I make into a district? Here. Okay, let's make here a district. So we're going to put a district here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Just got to shade in the area. You make the generic shape, and then I will fill in the rest. So there we go. And just like Etch-a-Sketch, you can only make boobs. You can't make squares. Wait, you can make squares in the Etch-a-Sketch. You can't make circles, because all your boobs are square. And we'll fill that on up. There we go. And that's our district. Now, it's saying the name Elk Heights, or Elk Hills, sorry, I don't like that name. I like to have my names, my cities, have kind of a historic theme, based on where their location is. So this place is near the industry. And keep in mind, the industry might move at some point, but we'll call this place Industrial Way. So just that it's a neighborhood that's near industry. Looks like I have a little bit of a problem here with water, so we'll fix that real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. So now we have our district, and why is this valuable? Well, now I can click on this district, click on policies, policy menu pops up, and what I can do is create individual policies just for this district. Now if I have a school in this district, I can put an education boost. That's huge. Increases education, and prioritizes working young adults, blah, blah, blah. That's such a good strategy. And same thing like parks and recreation. If I have an area that has parks and recreation in it, I can shade that out, make it kind of parkland. But what I want to do is make truck routes. So I'm going to click this on, and what this is going to do is prevent trucks from entering this area. Only light trucks to service our commercial needs will go through here. There'll be no more heavy trucks going through here. So in a generic city, what will happen is you have truck routes, which will be represented by a truck with a green circle around it, and non-truck routes, which will have a red cross against it, like no trucks here. And you design it that way so that the trucks will use the main thoroughfares to get around the city, causing less damage to your individual roads, these smaller roads that are more residential. And as you can see here, like my big problem with this rural area is that I don't really have big roads for my traffic to go through. They're all using these very tiny roads. And unfortunately, I'm not really going to fix that. Not yet, at least. Instead, what I'm going to do is expand. I have 203 megawatts of power due to all the garbage facilities that I have going down. and they're still not actually producing enough. And we're going to be expanding northbound. Northbound and down, they say. Nobody says that. And what road do I have here? Alright, so I want to have the big roads. That's what I want to use. The big roads. So is this the appropriate one? Yes. Oh, you know I didn't do yet. Buy. I gotta buy. So this is something else about the game too. You have 4 zones available. Various costs. And here's how the costs work. So this one is 4,500. This one is 3,600. This one here is all land. There's so much free land. And there's not a lot of rivers in the way. This one has rivers in the way. So you're thinking, why is this more expensive? Well, it's because it has ore. And it has rail. It has an extra way of transferring goods. And it also has an extra resource. And lots of other resources. This one has farmland, but, you know, not ore. And down here is even more expensive. It has oil, ore, 3 ways of transferring goods, and woods. Has no farmland, so it's slightly reduced, but still more expensive than the other 2. Then we have this one that's 5,000. It has 3 travel routes, a very, very large farming industry, a medium-sized farming industry, and iron. Now I'm cheap, so I'll be going for the northern area. Yay, northern area, yay. And I'll be developing here. And I'm going to want to create urban areas. So, to do that, we're going to have the concept of road feeding. So I'm going to have this road go, say, about right here. And I'm going to have to delete some of these power lines. They just are not needed, really. And this is going to refund me a little bit of cash and reduce my maintenance a little itty bit. Not a ton, not a considerable amount, but just a little itty bit. And this more northern road is going to be a little more perfectly designed than others. Because we're going to try and incorporate urban into the theme of it. So we're going to slide this up to here. Worked out perfect. And we're going to put a little bit of water here. Just a wee bit. There we go. Now we have new zones. So we have our high density residential zones, we have our high density commercial zones, and we have our office spaces. Now, office spaces and these high density commercial zones actually require an investment of education, which I have 0 of right now. None. Nepad education. So, I'm going to have to invest in that in the future. So, I'm going to put down my high density residential zones, which are needed. High demand for those. Looks like I selected perfectly. And I'm going to put the top here, I'm going to put low density commercial zones. Now, why am I doing that? Well, one, I want to get tax revenue. I'm going to put down schools eventually, don't worry. But this here will become a traffic circle. So I'll have a traffic circle going through here so that people can go straight to this highway. They can turn left and go this way, which is a big giant open area that will be full of stuff. Or they can go right into what will become a small neighborhood. So lots of ways. So this is a 3-lane road. Okay. Simple. We're going to build a 2-lane road to get into our neighborhood. So let's see, I'll put it here. Okay, and we're going to go all the way until we get close to this industrial thing, but not too close, if you know what I'm saying. And we will put down our power line across. I might add a new one right here. Looks like it's going to zigzag regardless, so there we go, I guess. That's not really ideal. Because if I do this, I cut out a lot of space here, so I don't want to do that. Now we have 3, 2, and then we're going to do 1. So we've covered, 3 different lengths of roads. And this is going to cover a problem that we had before. That wasn't really a problem in terms of our funds, our assets, what we could do with it. It wasn't a problem before, but it will be a problem now. Because we're building big, sprawling urban neighborhoods. Something we weren't doing before. So what's going to happen is we have 4 one-lane roads full of buildings here. The 4 one-lane roads are going to feed into 1 2-lane road. Still going to be a little bit more congested than we want, but it'll be not as congested. the one 2-lane road will flow freely into a 3-lane road, into our main thoroughfare. And so we're going to try and focus on minimizing the amount that we are going to be having traffic congestion. Now we have to boost our taxes on these zones. And it's not really boosting taxes, it's putting them in line with existing tax law. I'm going to put these guys slightly higher, just to generate a little bit of extra revenue out of this. And yeah. So I did say there's an impending emergency happening here. We're low on our coal. All of our coal plants are running low. So I'm going to have to work on getting a little more power generation coming through. Temporarily I can filter them into here. But this will be a big slowdown for me. Huge slowdown. I was afraid it wouldn't. Oh, it barely connects properly. So this power line will support these two, and there's a power line here for that one. So that should cover up all our power needs. The cover-up is happening. So you have a high demand for commercial zones. So I'm going to put this into a big commercial area. And this big commercial area is going to feed from our urban homes. So we're going to have all of our urban needs covered for a little bit. And I can actually connect the roads on the end. So that becomes easier for, like, friends to kind of hang out and say, "Sup, man? How's it going? I really enjoyed our talk yesterday on the eugenics policies that our government is currently implementing to get rid of the..." Don't say it. Can't let my master plan be complete. Alright, and all the commercial zones are getting filled up right away. Tax revenues surge because of that. Now, if I was to put down these high, this is a big part of the game. So, in my old area, click on industrial zone, it's like 16 uneducated workers, 0 educated, 0 well-educated, 0 highly educated. Go to our old commercial zones, 4 uneducated. Very uneducated worker base. The new ones will have no uneducated workers at all. They'll all have some degree of education. Some of them will require university, some high school, and some secondary schools. So a lot of university demands happening. Yeah, looks like could be fine. I'm going to speed this along to generate some more revenues. I'd like to get down another incinerator for $30,000, and it will produce a significant amount of power in the range of 12 megawatts. Yes. And now it's saying the building is leveled up. So this is another thing you can do to generate revenue. On top of building schools, police stations, fire departments, and healthcare, you can also lay down parks. And you lay them in these neighborhoods, and the buildings can have like a wealth level up. Now, all mine are pretty low value right now. But here's, for example, a general store. It's currently at level 1. It has a little bar to go to 2. These guys are all 1. Then when you go over to this high value neighborhood, it's 2. This isn't really high value. It's, barely middle class. Yeah, the metro station. So I do have a problem of not enough citizens using my transit system. 106 per week. That is scary small. So I'm going to create some more bus routes, which will also increase happiness. Just something I can do with my time. So we'll have this neighborhood covered. I just want to get through as many neighborhoods as I can. Trying to get people to, efficient workplaces and whatnot. And I'll go into this area, which is where we'll also be ending. And end there. That's one bus route. Now let's get Industrial Way all covered up. The cover-up. Featuring Troublmaker. We'll just try and get through as many independent areas as possible. And this is made by the people who made Cities in Motion, which is a sim game specifically for transit systems. So they had to have a pretty darn good transit system in their game. And this is probably the most complicated travel sim travel system in a building simulator ever made, just to kind of give you an idea of how impactful all this will be. I'll put a little bit of a bus over here just to kind of get these guys into the city, the rural neighborhoods, that is. And I think I'll just spin it around right here. And we'll take this back home. There we go. So this should increase the number of people using our public transit, and suddenly I have tons of money. Okay, so we're going to lay down another incinerator. And where to put it? Where to put it? I don't want to diminish values too much, but here looks like a good temporary place. It's going to diminish some of my value, and you know, it'll be getting garbage and incinerating it. I can probably, yeah, these are already emptying, are they? Good, good, good. I want them emptying into the incinerators to keep these incinerators producing power. It's a really scary way of producing power, but that's how I have to do it. Let's see. So that's, yeah, it's producing 12 megawatts. It's got a lot of reserves. It'll be producing for a while. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out, though. So power reserves are good, good, good. Looks like we're just under capacity again. So I could probably even go for another incinerator. Jeez, I want to have it. I don't really like them in the rural neighborhoods at all, but I mean, they are the more efficient places to do this. I should probably put it on a non-congested road, though. So there we go. There will be another incinerator to carry for all the garbage that people are producing. Still lots of money, so we'll go ahead and build our traffic circle Rooney. We're going to go for the big bad boy. And thankfully it's producing properly. Good. And so with this traffic circle, same as the old one, like it'll spin around circles. This one will work a little more functionally, because there will be neighborhoods attached here. Down here will be one new neighborhood, kind of like with this over here. And then we'll have something going, you know, north a bit too, not too much north. And then one going this way to connect into this industrial area. So everything's all very connected. I want people flowing from these northern areas into this main highway, or into this one, which will become a highway eventually, but isn't one right now. I just want flowing traffic. And as you can see, traffic problems here are not as bad as other places. You know, we have a lot of roads here, and people are flowing into their various sections very, very well. It looks amazing. We love it. We love it here. So we're going to build a little sub-neighborhood, just a tiny one. And eventually when I buy off this land space over here, I'll be able to expand this neighborhood, so it's not, you know, all awash. And this is going to be a terribly small neighborhood right now. So we're going to build our 2 road. Oops, I should do electricity. So that's how we grid our things off, is by gauging it based on where the wires are. There we go, perfecto. And I'll probably want one on this side too. Okay, so I'm going to be building a 2-laner right down the middle. And eventually this will be transformed into something else, but for now it's just this one road. That's it. That's going to be our little neighborhood. And let's get power going down. Might cut off a little bit of the neighborhood, but it'll thrive and survive. I have a high demand for commercial and for residential, so I'm going to do a little bit of both. That's going to be all residential. There. And we'll put on a little more commercial here. And I don't really like having, I mentioned this before, I don't like having residential on the traffic circle, so this will all be commercial. And I'm only using the low density commercial right now because I just don't have the education facilities for it. And, oh, power production is not good. Okay. Now Now the reason why, of course, is because not enough fuel in one of these facilities, so we're going to have to up our game here. Another coal plant will produce 40 megawatts of power. Hopefully that'll bring us out of this more or less recession of energy. 40 megawatts should cover for now. And the problem is with the whole system now is that you actually need water to incinerate garbage. It's a little bit bizarre. Yes, you need water. Weird. But it's true. You need water to incinerate garbage. So if you don't have any water, you can't incinerate the garbage, which, yeah, kinda is the suck. So that covered that. Perfecto. And yeah, our water and sewage is actually doing fine. I swear to God, every time there's a water shortage, like someone burns down their house, it's like, oh lordy, I might as well burn down my house. I don't have one anymore. So that, I think that disaster is basically covered now. How's our garbage doing? Our incinerator capacity is now higher than the amount of garbage we pick up, which means we have room to expand. So you can go any way you want. I mean, I could go north towards the highway, which would connect our highway to, here, which is neat, and it would allow me to use some pretty cool devices. I'm going to expand over this way, though. So for 6 grand or so, 5.5 grand, I'll go over here. I intend to put another traffic circle here. That's why I'm giving myself a little bit of spaces. And I'm going to need to have more commercial. Once again, I don't really have the facilities for the high grade commercial. I can switch all these over to high commercial eventually. So not a big deal by me putting these here. And keep in mind, to the south here, I can go 2 ways. I can make a road that goes north here to connect here, or I can use this road here to, do that neighborhood. I think I'm actually going to have these roads go north, though. I think that'll make a little more sense in the end. To me, at least. So I'm just going to add up utilities. There we go. Utilities. And that's covered. And these are much, much denser populated areas. Just to give you an idea, this one has 18 young adults, 4 adults. Young adult will be like the nice way of saying like you're about 18 or so. So yeah, 25, 27, it's only about 80% full. 7 and 9 is about 80%. This one here, 2 households, has 3 seniors. That's it. 3 uneducated seniors. That's it. This one, slightly larger, 16, 6 adults, 3 children. So this is not, there's not a lot of people here. And if you look at my population, just this one little district is worth 3,000 extra people. This whole thing here, 7,000. This little thing, 3,000. If I build a few more of these, and I can fit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're going to look at a population of about 30,000. Maybe actually more around 24,000 fitting into this area. And as I increase housing property values, that number can go up as well. So I'm going to put a little part here, and that's going to increase property value here. Yay, property value. And I just want to get an idea, how much more do I need to level these up? So I need just a little more, actually. So my next plot, my scheme will be build a high school here, a high school. And that will put property values up as well. Space already occupied. 10 grand for a new school. Maybe the north here. So it's on more of a main road, and that makes everyone happy as well. Is that enough for a level up? No. Educate more citizens to allow the building to be upgraded. Make sure your education facilities can handle all potential students. Oh, okay. So this will eventually level up because of the school that I built here. And if you look at the mass education problem I have, 90% of my population is uneducated. 10% are educated. 0% are well educated, and 0% are highly educated. So I do have a bit of a crisis of a oh, I'm a small city now. I can build my hydropower plant. Excellent. I think I'll build that eventually. Yes. How much will that cost me? $5,600 for that many megawatts. $1,632. This is not a very high flow river, it seems. So I can get to 32 megawatts at best. I think this one here will generate way more tide. So that's not really going to be something that I can use right now. But I think this river over here will be much stronger. Will it? Let's see. It's amazing how they show the... so it's all about the sizes of these arrows. You just have to get it on top of one of the arrows. It's gonna be a funny little dam I'm building there, but yeah. $32 seems like the cap that I can get out of this, unfortunately. Oh, we got a new building, the fire department, the fire station, to help deal with our mass fire problem. And I do like how there's a scale here to tell you the problems you're having, like fire hazards are pretty large, healthcare is awful in the city, the worst healthcare in the world. I have more sick citizens than I have capacity. Crime rate, awful. If you click on cemetery, sorry, it tells you how much is used, which is neat. More people will die as problems abound. And looks like I'm actually finally using my entire capacity here. I have power issues somewhere. Why? Hundreds. Oh, so I actually do need another power facility. So what I can do, I have a feeling this river down here is a much better power station. I'm gonna purchase that for $6,700. Okay. Let's test my theory. This looks like a much wider, more in use. Let's see if I can build 32 megawatts, 48 megawatts. Does going downriver make it even bigger? 16 megawatts. $80 megawatts. Oh my god, that is a massive amount of power. Okay, 80 megawatts it is. It's going to cost $62,000, which puts me in the negative, unfortunately. So let's see if I can get a little bit of revenue. I need to get power lines. Okay, I might have to take out a loan to resolve this issue. So we're going to go to my loans, and there's a cheapy loan over here. Silver Sunset Bank Loan. So that's now in play, and I just need to get this connected into my grid. So we're going to have to clobber a few industrial buildings to get this through, but that is going to be an extra 60 megawatts of power. That is massive amounts of power. Drilling through the city, and I should be able to pay off that debt pretty soon. So let's see, how much does it cost? $21,000 to pay it off. So I'm gonna work towards paying off that debt, because otherwise interest accrues and things get dangerous. Nobody likes that. People begin to hate you, and they say you're bad for the environment. You deny it. It makes you look worse. And it looks like our amount of water being used is basically just fine, but it's getting a bit close. So I'm going to put, this is how bad I've been at early game. my water has never been at 100%. So I'm just going to put it a little higher just to give myself some snuggling space. And there we go. I can pay off that loan right away. Boom, shaka laka laka. No more on payments left. All paid off. I can retake that loan whenever I need it. So yeah, the impending power crisis is over again. Yay is us. In fact, we can probably get rid of some of these coal facilities eventually. The problem is they run out of resources because they're not getting a steady supply of coal because these roads are terrible. That's the problem. You know, it's not that I don't get deliveries of coal, it's that my roads are terrible. If I didn't have such shitty roads, I would not have these crises that rely on me building a massive dam. Now, I have a choice. I can get rid of the coal plants, or I can expand further. And I'm one of these expanding guys. I like the concept of expanding. I take the bull by the horns, and I don't know how the rest of that metaphor goes. But there's something about taking the bull by the horns. I don't actually have a power line that goes across here properly. I'll say yet. We'll say yet. I have to get a power line across the northern tip of this. So we're going to cut in through, fortunately here. Actually, I guess I could cut across here. Just gotta make sure all the poles line up properly. There we go. And now I can just build our infrastructure across. There we go. Everyone's happy. And we need more homes. We need more residents because people have jobs to do. But unfortunately, we also need more jobs. So it's kind of a mixed bag of tricks that I'm portraying here. So now we have one 3-lane road being the feed site for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 areas. And this will handle, keep in mind, this population here is the size of about that there. You know, it's a pretty sizable population. And these few roads will handle about the same amount of traffic as all these have together, but more efficiently, more better. More better sounds awful. I don't like that word. Let's go with betterer. That's an even betterer word. So we have our school built here. Now we're going to build ourselves a high school here. Let's see if I can find a position where it'll allow me to build. I might have to go where? Over on this side, perhaps. So 24 grand for that. And that's going to increase property values again. And then I'll put a smaller one over here. Just a friendly little neighborhood. Now, to increase property values by placing trees. Because trees is the way of increasing property values. Yay, everyone's happy. Yay. Which is going to in turn increase taxes. So far we have one educated person living here. We're going to give that educated person an educated job very, very soon. Let's see, how much do I have? I need 7 grand, I think, for my traffic circle. So, oh, it's just bouncing back and forth. 7,600 apparently is what I need for the traffic circle. So I want to place the traffic circle, like, here, so that I can draw a line north from that industrial area directly into this. Makes sense? Makes sense. Okay, that's good. And we need something to connect to that to here. Ooh, it wasn't perfect, unfortunately, but I guess nothing in life ever gets to be perfect. And it wasn't perfect on this front either. In fact, that's going to swerve a little bit as well. Now, get our power across. That'll be good. Got to curve this one a little bit, diagonal it, and we need to get one to the north. This is the worst electricity thingy I've ever done. Okay, so I can also do one this way. The reason why I can do this way is because there's a big giant open space ahead of here, and I could potentially make off routes up here too. Just make this all efficient. And here's the thing: the demand for this route was so big. I've not built any buildings here yet. I've only built the road. But the demand for this was so big, there's already traffic on it. I haven't built anything here. People are spinning all the way around this circle just because this was so needed. And this is going to be a very, very fast route for a lot of people to get into a lot of places. I didn't do plumbing here. I'm so sorry, residents. There. You guys pay taxes. You guys deserve water. Oops. Totally slipped my mind. And across we go. Okay, so like it's starting to take shape and plan and all that sort of jazz. Of course, destroying abandoned buildings makes people happy. I have a few schools now. We look at our educated base. Like the education, our base is getting a lot more educated now than it was before. So that's going to allow me to plant our new type of zone. That will be our, dense commercial zone. So I'm going to plant these around the traffic circle. Because that's how I roll. I like putting these things around the traffic circle. And I'm going to draw up a decent number of industrial zones here. And I like to keep a buffer between my residential and my industrial. So I have this square here that I can fill up. I can extend this road a little bit, put some more places here. Probably commercial places. This looks like a great place for a commercial land value. And I can also use that road to connect into this road directly, which will allow for a quicker route for people to turn left into here and go across if they want to go industrial. You want to have multiple routes for people to make terrible decisions. I mean, this is a place where there's only really one route to make a terrible decision. Two if you count this way. So this is all looking good. My tax revenues are doing fantastic. One good thing about having urban areas is that you need less services in a smaller area with more residents. The difference between this house burning down and this facility burning down is the exact same thing. One truck covers both. And health is a little bit different, obviously, because you have more people, means you need more health care. But if a police shows up to the same buildings, he's going to report the exact same amount of things. So you need less services in more areas. That's great. That's amazing. And yeah, I'm still going to need more high schools, though. I mean, a lot of these buildings just don't work. They barely work. I'm just going to click on these. Remember before, it said it had all uneducated people for these commercial buildings, and now we need 5 educated, 5 well-educated, and 2 highly educated. So eventually I'm going to have to plop down a university too. And plop being, of course, that good old SimCity terminology. So high schools are pretty pricey, 24,000 bones. And we're going to place it into one of these old neighborhoods, because there isn't enough traffic heading that way, and that makes everyone happy. Everyone's happy when there's a high school. Of course they're happy. So this is, yeah, you can kind of see like this infrastructure type works really, really well. And when you're looking at your city, you have to think like, what's flowing into what and why. This is an area where you can see, and keep in mind, when I built this, it was rural, it was okay, it was fine, but this stuff flows into where? Where are people going? People are going from here all the way down to here. There has to be an efficient route to cut across the city to get here, or a highway to spin across. And, that's something I haven't really covered one way or the other. It looks like our coal has run out in a number of these facilities again, and running low in other ones. So it was rather fortunate for me to build that hydro plant, because look at this thing. That's just a bunch of trees. Here it is. God, that is such a beauty. A beauty! I come from a province of Canada that's powered 100% by hydro. There's only 2 provinces in all of Canada that's like that, so it's very easy to guess where I'm from. I can tell you that our hydro facilities don't look like this. They don't look like the freaking Hoover Dam. They're not, you can't drive over them like these ones. There's a road on this. You can drive over this. That's not the case. Our hydro dams are actually like buildings that look like industrial buildings. There's roads next to them, but you can't drive over them. That's ridiculous. But maybe in Europe, that's how it is. This is a European game. They're really big into alternative energies in Europe. They're really big into green technology, the removal of coal and all that sort of stuff. And given their history, that makes sense. But yes. So, I think I'm just going to stop here. But I will kind of detail where I want to go with this. I have a very high demand for office and industrial spaces. So one thing I said in the past was that I want to make this southern area pretty heavily industrial. I also want to make this cube here to be industrial, just because there's already industry here. So what I'll be doing is I'll be repurposing this area as a farm. Yeah. So it'll increase my water consumption, but I'll get more tax revenue, and I'll be making use of my fertile land. I also intend to build both of these traffic circles to go towards this big highway. Now this highway is a little bit different from this one over here. This one over here I got kind of cheap. I was just like, psych, I put one little thing here. This one's already twinned, and I don't want to ruin that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a roadway here, obviously, but then it's going to transform into a highway piece, and I'm going to have a merge that will go, geez, how's the traffic facing? Oh, good. It's just one guy who's going all willy-nilly. One will merge in this way, then I'll have a tunnel underneath, and then I'll have another merge in that way. And then I'm going to have a way for this traffic to go into my road, and this traffic to kind of merge in. And that's something I want to do, just something so simple. Allowing traffic to merge into your city, or sorry, merge into the highway, and exit into the city. And I'll be doing that twice, once over here, once over here. And that's going to cover a lot of time. Keep in mind, I spent all this time just building this small little willy-nilly zone. You know, big whoop, this is not a big deal. I did not build a lot here. But next time, I plan to build a lot. I'm going to build up this space, and this space. That'll be my farming community. Remember, Farmville. Remember, that's how I'm going to name it, Farmville. And probably going to also try to increase my education base, because honestly, I do need a lot of education to work in these facilities. Because currently, there's a lot of jobs available. A lot like where I'm living right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Troublemaker. This is Trouble in Rock 4, and I'll see you guys again probably tomorrow.